Hello. Hi. Welcome to the mothership, and welcome to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Alright, let's continue. Second, 22nd November, 11:38 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendants Antechamber 5. Woo! Da 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 da. Kazuma. Excellent. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. That pop. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Are they not studying the same thing at this university? Eh? Forget it. It's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Ha 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 ha. Pop. Anyways, it looks like we've exposed your phantom lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett. A student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with her. With him. Like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I'm sure of. Ah! This little highlight of powers of observation. It's like... Wait... It's more like Apollo than Phoenix, but yeah, yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. I mean, it's not so much powers of observation as it is just hey, there was another person there. It's a whole other person. You can't miss. And the other people didn't miss. They just lied. They just perjured themselves. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scenes, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Then, on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor, and just after I bent down and picked it up, bang. I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot came from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me in some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside the dining area. Ah, there you are. Let's see. It's the professor. It's Professor Regine Mikotoba. Oh, I need a 4-star. Ah, no. Or it could be the young lady. But it's probably the professor. Oh, there you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Mikotoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system even more. Which is why... I don't know what that voice is. I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. I don't know what that voice is. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life. If I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that is your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma? Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you will need to prove your innocence. and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you are probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA. Okay, this personal connection BS makes me go back to suspecting him again. And it's not BS, but whatever. I'm gonna have to wait until Jazeel shows up. But like I do have a lingering suspicion of him being the mentor in a long line of mentors. Not long? Let's see, it's Kristoff, and then there's, I feel like Von Karma. I feel like there's more. Oh well. And it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you are about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain. It is well known that a well-known one at that. Naturally, what is this? I don't know what this voice is becoming. Naturally, government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. I can't get a consistent voice for him. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes. Yes, and I am sure the prosecution will be using every tool at the disposal to quash your case. But I have no doubt you pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. He probably isn't a killer, right? It's probably Jazeel. Mayhaps. I'm imagining it's, what's her face? Dahlia Hawthorne. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then, I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Okay, if he's getting something we may need, he's definitely not the killer, so it's just okay. Of course. I need to reserve my high voices because I know there's a whole bunch more recurring characters. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Defendant Naruhodo! Court recess is over! Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow before these old fossils know what hit them. Kazuma. What? What? Thank you. Really. What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed in me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already have been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer, and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying it abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. 22nd November, 12:09 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Such a word. Courtroom 2. So over the top. Man, this animation. It probably wouldn't bother me so much if it wasn't so close up. Okay. The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Ouchie. I mean, I get that it's pain, but it's such a silly one. It's such a silly translation, but it's kind of perfect, but it's also terrible. And I love it so much, but I hate saying it. It's so silly. Prosecutor Ouchie, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Objection! Yes, Your Excellency! Against all odds! And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. Nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Well, you still think it's nothing to worry about when the Neal Treaty breaks down and our nation Are they missing a L? Is it flounders? Let's go with flounders. Well, you think it's nothing to worry about when the Neal Treaty breaks down on our nation flounders? Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is that what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up! Shut up, you jumped up froggy boy! You and your friend know nothing. Nothing of our situation our nation finds itself in.
yourselves with this great world power will become strong. This diplomacy has never been more critical.
Yes. Aligning yourselves with a great world power. I wonder if your relations with Great Britain will ever go south.
Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures.
No, it is technology which apparently you do not like, according to your anyways. Shaky. Ryanosuke. I won't deny I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there's one thing I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Ryanosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror.
You little brats!
Thank you, Council. Thank you, Council. The court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Jazale Brett.
Yes! Your Excellency!
Oh boy. Double witness.
Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land.
Tea. Someone bring English tea. In England, no discussions take place without tea. Is that true? No idea.
So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court?
Oh my gosh, that's probably what I'm gonna use for Jazale. But, of course. French restaurant. Nope. I can't. Nope. Of course. My name is Satoru Honosoga. Osonaga. I've been working on the cover as the head waiter at Carnival yet. But my true...
Yes, we know all about you already.
Inspector Honosaga. Where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are one thing you're sure of. Oh yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description of this amazing sight was simply a woman. Oh, that is a look. That is a look. Sorry, Ryonosuke, but your powers of observation, of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty.
So, dear lady, once again, if we made trouble for you for your name and occupation, please.
Yeah, that's evil there. Yeah. I can't even like pretend. I can't even like speak another language and pretend to know what pretend to be saying something. But this is just squiggles.
I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but what?
Oh gosh, I don't even need a voice for her. I can just go. The lady says. Oh gosh. Okay. The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She is a visiting research student currently enrolled in Yale University's medical faculty.
Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song.
As far as I can tell. The detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You'll obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryonosuke. Apparently not enough to translate it for us. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. So, she can hear us? Wait, no. I think... Wait, he was translating, so... Okay. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called La Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? She says yes. This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese? She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university. Wait. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the bureau.
Now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print?
So this guy didn't talk to her before coming here? Is this what I'm hearing?
Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps?
Apparently, it was very frightening and sorrowful. It was a very threatening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say?
Yeah.
Yes, so to appear that the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in the courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Order in court.
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement.
Yep, she killed him. Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beef steak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. This is a condemning testimony indeed. No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all.
Objection!
Quiet, you filthy wretch! Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard! And look at this snow-white angel! I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe.
You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. But he's so annoying. Of course, I was at the scene as well. Of course I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and 2 witnesses who testified before and reported back to the bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as today. As you can see, there is nowhere about the person where she could conceal a firearm. Absolutely not in the Swan. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. No. I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in the outfit if she wanted to. Wrong words. I would think she would hide a gun almost anywhere in the outfit if she wanted to.
Unless and until the precise location where the witnesses to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot.
There are no pockets in my gun. Outfit, I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witnesses' own words on the matter. That's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryonosuke. But I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun that day. You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we need to pull her testimony apart. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, yeah. Yes, Your Excellency. Let's see. Nothing wrong with that.
Yes!
Never got into an argument with the professor. All I did when I noticed him was just go over and say hello. Please don't get that angry at me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you. I was meant for the lady next to you. But anyways, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are unthin. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese. Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese.
No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. English is the future. We must all speak English.
I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever. Or only in the presence of a beautiful woman, Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I have to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how insignificant it may be. Anyways, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his only seat. That part ties in with what you said, doesn't it? Yes, I still had some coffee to drink. And the next time you got up after that was when I finished my coffee and stood up to leave. Okay. Photographic print, sketch of the layout. Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Yes!
He was unable to eat, you say? And that was because he'd just had a tooth removed at the Hara clinic, right? Correct? That is correct. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brent aware of this fact? It seems so, yes. She heard from the professor. She heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brent? That is right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying event. Exactly as it was left?
Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this horrible, terrible plight.
So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all? That is right, other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes. The professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it seems that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Ryunosuke, about the witness's last statement? That last statement of yours, Mr. Brett, has a profound bearing on this case.
Well, well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing,
The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony.
Well sidestepped, counsel.
Very well, Miss Brett. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. That's adorable. Her face, gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm going to remember it. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm going to remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ryunosuke. Well, nope. Dang it. Oh, that was cool. It's like a disappeared. That was cute. Alright, I need to calm down. Just think everything can start. Okay. So it's not the carbonated water that's the problem, because it's technically, apparently, carbonated water is water. No, it's not.
Yes!
That's it. Wait, whoa, 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 wait, wait, there it is. Okay. So both you and the professor drank this carbonated water, did you? Yes. Being the waiter, I poured the 2 glasses myself. I clearly remember doing so. Except you're actually a detective. And the beef steak, that was for you, Miss Brett? The lady said she heard it was not customary to eat beef here until Japan opened its doors to the world. Yes, that's true. What a frightful place, is the lady's opinion. And I've heard it's not customary to eat sashimi in the Great Britain. Now that's frightful. Every country has its own cuisine. As long as people have food to eat, what does it matter what it is? Mirano's, wait, no, Kazuma, you're fantastic. True, come to think of it, the first time I tried carbonated water, it was much more of a shock than the first time I tried beef. But anyway, back to the witness's statement. Somehow, I feel like there's something out of place in what she's saying. That is the face. We need to pounce on even the slightest thing now. Because you never know what might lead us to our goal. Our goal of turning this trial around. Understood, Kazuma. Do 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 do.
Yes!
That's it. Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, it's very odd.
Dear me! What's odd is the defense's inability to express itself.
Yonosuke, what's this all about? What is this about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers?
Go back.
Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Objection!
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on this case?
Objection!
Minutiae, you say? Could it be that the detective here moved a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not! I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Are you trying to tell me you can clink with only one? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What?
It was also terrifying everything that
It was also terrifying everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she is saying. Good gracious.
Sorry.
Or it should be
Dominic.
wait.
As I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all.
Oh please.
We must remember that the student who was just murdered had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or two in her state of disarray?
That's absurd.
Oh, really? So, do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young, and beautiful woman of mischief?
What? No. This can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. It would seem that she slipped it into. It would seem that you slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency, a small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. So the beautiful
The beautiful lady was very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on this case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning. But in the end, it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You've wasted enough time already.
Indeed, this lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I think henceforth we consider the matter to have no bearing on this case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement? Well, I don't know really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away from her hand in her handbag. If there's a significance there, it's... Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say?
Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items.
Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you picked up on that too.
What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard?
It's a student's uniform, you ass. It's really very simple. Gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will.
You can't seriously be suggesting.
Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Did you or did you not search Miss Jaziel's Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun. The one that was actually used to kill the professor. Could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag.
No!
Order, order, order!
What is the meaning of this, Inspector?
Meaning of what, Prosecutor Algie?
Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents of the bag? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations.
Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? Is he gonna die on the spot? Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I've completely forgotten about. This photographic print. This print is a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. There was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. As you can see, there is nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san. Oh, that was amazing. Oh, that was amazing. Order, order. Inspector Horonosoga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. The photograph of the handbag has been entered in a court record. What is this bowl? I think you have had long enough to cross-examine the witness counsel. Wait, oh, oops. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, I am satisfied there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling.
Indeed, there's only one logical conclusion: that the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime.
No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around, I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean this is it? Mentor, coming in with some answers. Eugene Kamikotoba.
Chikaku, I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student, but the weak are meat while the strong eat. You are wasting your time. There is no way to defeat true justice. In fact, you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell.
This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma. His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing to do about the last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling.
It seems we will be able to report to the British government on time after all.
That smug little... Wait, when was Ryunosuke wearing a glove thing? It's not a glove, but it's a arm thingy-majab. Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Yes!
Having considered all of the evidence placed before me, I hereby find you... Wait, Your Excellency. Ryonosuke? Ryonosuke? I don't think you can rule on this case yet.
Objection!
This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that this trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes!
When did he get that glove thing? Sleeve. Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now, if that means there's some problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean, then the ruling on this case at this time would be out of the question.
Objection!
Position of the chairs. Position of the chairs. It's gotta be the position of the chairs, right? Yeah, probably.
This blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is a handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There can be no problem with this evidence.
You better know what you're doing, Ryonosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly the new evidence submitted by the detective has not gone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag.
Ha! My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes.
Yes, I'm desperate. But this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. Very well. I'll grant the defense one final opportunity.
What?
But be warned. But be warned that if I'm unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another closer look at the photographic print Inspector Hosonaga submitted here before. You will identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail to which you have alluded. So it's the bowl because I can't. Like it's don't give me the chair placement. If it's yes.
Yes!
Look at this here. It's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection!
Dear me! I was wondering what new piffle you would come up with. A burn, you say? On the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag.
Yes, that's a burn mark. You're right. Go on, your inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report.
What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either.
The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. This is the number, lose your pen. However, as Prosecutor Augie points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem that Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now.
Oh, of course, dear lady, we shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway.
What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with this case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging, in the hope I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. I am? If we can just link that burn to the case. If we can do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open again. Prise? Prize? Prize? Huh. Learn new things every day. Cool. Wait, so was founder also right? Founder meaning. Founder is just a person who manufactures articles of cast metal, the owner or operator of foundry. Oh, founder, as in fill with water and sink. That makes sense. More things I don't know. Okay, interesting.
Just give up, Council! You can't possibly hope to do that.
Indeed. I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence... evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would. Yes. To tell you the truth, I didn't notice that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? I have to find some link between the burn and the case. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means.
Our evidence isn't here yet, I don't think.
So then, the evidence will now present its evidence to court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. Okay, examine... No. Waiter's business card? No. Medical report. Hada clinic. Dentist. Oh.
Yes!
Cool. What is this, Council? Yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe the photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore.
Do hurry up, Rookie! What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further would be quite inexcusable.
Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer, if you don't mind, Miss Brett. If you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How? How?
Objection!
You can't fool.
You can't fool me with your low bluffs, boy. If that's your game, let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn?
Yes!
The beef steak?
Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate? Ah!
Your Excellency, are you alright?
As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark arc of La Carnival.
Ah!
The emblem on this plate and the victim's burn are exactly the same shape.
Ah!
Konosuke, you're a genius. You're spot on. Which means victim must have suffered the burn while he was present at the restaurant.
Objection!
But even if that was the case, can't know what happened on the day in question or not. If it happened on the day in question, no, it could have been the day before or the day before that. It most likely happened some other time, some other unrelated time.
Well,
Objection!
Sadly, Professor Ouchi, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks.
Why?
The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Honosoga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster suddenly.
But
Oh, I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it is extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. Oh, it's no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific? Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken 3 seconds. It is inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I have been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I have not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation.
But you're a detective, not a waiter!
Yes!
There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burned themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet Inspector Honosaga never heard the professor scream. Not on that day, or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out, either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate or for anything like 3 seconds that day. That would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Ouchi?
Well, yes, I suppose.
So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it. Hiyonisuke, do you think? Can it really be true? I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson no man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible. Apart from one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting? Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead.
Already?
Dead? Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beef steak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead.
That's madness!
Or on some killer painkillers, but... Order, please! Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot.
That's right! That's absolutely right, Your Excellency! This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student. But clearly, he has no grasp of the facts!
Objection!
No, Prosecutor Ouchi. It is you who has no grasp of the facts.
I beg your pardon?
As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If that is true, as we now believe, the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard. It is highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement.
But, Your Excellency!
The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I'm prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. What was that smile?
Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese?
Well, of course I do. Oh gosh, I need a British accent.
Start with a little British.
Oh gosh.
Well, of course I do. British. I am studying in your country after all.
But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now?
My mother tongue.
No, I don't have a British accent available in my storage. Okay,
My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I have tried to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. But it seems as the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I will have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. Well, you are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We're truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us.
I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So, we're finally going to hear our own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting. Ryonosuke.
British accent. I can't do one. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses into a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please, do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway.
Yikes. 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 Yikes.
Du, 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 du. Yikes.
Yeesh. That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Easy does it.
I hope that is the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your becoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I hope I haven't insulted anyone. Not at all, not at all. It's a delight to hear you. It's a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. It seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's brain is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishments possible. Amen. Thanks? Was that a prayer then?
Well, you have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with the cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear?
Wow. Wow.
Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. What do you think, Ryunosuke? I don't know. I think this could be hard work. She can speak Japanese brilliantly, but she doesn't seem to want to say very much. The more she says, the more she's likely to give away. This Englishwoman knows that only too well. She's quite formidable. Dr. Wilson Byrne tells us something, I'm sure. I need to use this cross-examination to find out what. First things first, I'm going to press her on everything she said. Try to make her blurt something out. What is it, Kazuma? What are you thinking? Oh, don't worry, it's nothing. Is there something I can immediately present? No, right? Death occurred after 2 p.m. Cause of Loss of blood from gunshot to the chest. Bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Examine. That's not a lot of blood for loss of blood. That's not a lot of blood for loss of blood. That's not a lot of blood for loss of blood. Right? Wrong? Maybe? Let's just
Yes!
pass. But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't have not noticed. You can't not have noticed.
Do you think so? Let me ask you something.
Sorry?
Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you?
Huh? What? Ah!
Haha, what fun! You hadn't realized. The dear lady's absolutely right.
As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, Ryonosuke.
Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can.
Yes!
Well, I can't.
Anyway, it does say loss of blood, but I don't know if I want to lose a point to that.
I guess. Okay, let's.
Yes!
I'm losing this. Okay.
Yes!
Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma.
Yes. Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. As there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life.
That doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burnt his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must already have been dead at that point.
Objection!
And yet, the fact is the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that fact, this is a complete waste of time.
I concur. Prosecutor Ouchie is right. Ugh. Oh, poison.
Yes!
Might not have been detected. Without leaving a trace?
If someone is shot, or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale signs on the traces on the body. Quite right, dear lady. As our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga?
As I have said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. Huh. There would be physical traces of all those causes of theft, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark.
If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone exactly how you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh, now, perish the thought! Calling such a sweet young lady is innocence into question. On my honor, I, Taketsuchi Achi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions.
A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence.
Poison!
Do I present here? Do I present this one or the other photo? And here or there or near or where?
Yes!
As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right?
Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at the time, if you remember. Which explained why he ordered that drink. Correct, waiter?
Exactly as you say, sir. Although, whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I arrived, when I delivered this steak to the table. I'm afraid I don't remember that.
Damn you. I have enough English to understand that at least. The penalty fit over the others in the court, it means bless you.
I think it means the exact opposite. Okay, so when she speaks in cursive, she's speaking English.
Anyway.
Poison. It's gotta be poison. It's poison.
Yes!
What is it? This one or that one? Blah 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 blah. Nope. She took the. Blah, 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 blah.
Yes!
It was poison, okay? It was poison!
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at the crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so?
Quite right! The carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident.
Exactly. Which means even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. What is he thinking? It doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can. You understand.
Aha! A killer blow! The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful.
Except you're the one who took the evidence. Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchie is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Ryonosuke? I think this is going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma. What, Ryonosuke? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her. Inspector Honosaga. The detective? Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant, if it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on this last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then, I wonder what Kazuma is thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose. Once I press Miss Brett on her last statement again.
Yes! Wait.
Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the English woman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they'll often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. it's time to pursue the man in his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Mionosuke. It all has to do with the witness marker. What marker? At the moment we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. But by moving the marker left and right with the buttons, you can turn your attention to other people on the stand. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with A button. If you catch the person at just at the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand, take a good look around. Alright then. So first I move the marker across and focus on the detective, and pursue him and see what's on his mind. Here we go.
Wait. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
What was that? What is the meaning of this? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts. Deeply. Looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? If there's something you'd like to say, please share it with the court.
Objection!
What is the meaning of this? It's a delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over. Immediately!
Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact he's intimately involved with the case. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Oh, yes. If you don't mind, I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. But I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. Don't care if they call me a crime thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. A crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Is that is the bottle of carbonated water I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming. I guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass of water as evidence. Miss Brett. Carbonated water. Carbonated water. Carbonated water. Label is written in foreign language I don't understand. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. It must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. Then go to France and ask. You could just say you don't know. Okay. Can't find any way to play this. This carbonated water is the last drink Miss Dr. Wilson ever had. Looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. I just have a sip of this to keep me going. No, Ryonosuke. Can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryonosuke. There's always more ways than one. I wonder. Could there be anything in this water? Poison. What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. This man was poisoned. Miss Brett. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottom from which you drank on the day of the victim's death?
Yes, it was that bottle.
What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the court judge's question. Counsel, you may resume your cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. Yeah, I very much doubt they would have let a sick inspector.
Yes!
What is this? The bottle of water? Actually, there's one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison.
Poison!
On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Order, order, order! And on the day, he was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink. There's only there's only one person who could possibly done it. Localization team, come on. Giselle Brent, it was you.
Objection!
That is outrageous. To suggest such a thing for a scrap of evidence. You rookie imbecile! Have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we only have just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime.
What?
The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We're here to determine the truth.
Ah!
If I may,
I will silence you forever. This just graceful. Attack on the lovely young. Shut up. It is you who should be silent. Ah, of course. Dear lady.
Where did this come from? She just snapped.
I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. Shut! I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies.
I'm sorry, my lady, but what are you referring?
I described your police force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe.
Inspector.
And whether it contained poison or not.
Of course. You did? Have you forgotten about my guiding principle? What my guiding principle is already? I strive for flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And what did you find, Inspector? I did test for every toxin that is available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No!
I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady. The pleasure was all ours.
I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience that this has caused you, Miss Brett.
Oh no. I am just glad that the matter is resolved.
Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further evidence to present to the court at this point? Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more.
Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
Hold it!
Please, wait! Isn't that...
What is the meaning of this?
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Sasuto Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Mikotoba?
In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package, wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. To be continued. Saving the progress, there's 3 parts of this trial. Save complete. Alright, that is where we will end the stream for today. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day. Bye.